Toiling in the sun, their blood, sweat, and tears battle the elements to put food on our plates. Their profession marks the beginning of civilization itself, and even today, their industry is the world's largest business. The small-scale subsistence farmer produces most of the food consumed globally, largely on small plots of land, using their hands and traditional practices, especially in Asia and Africa. While the agriculture industry has been shaped by the evolution of technology, the change has barely touched the small-scale subsistence farmers in Africa.
We are a small country. Most of the farmers are not educated. They are not well skilled with the field of farming or doing agriculture. There's climate change, there's global warming, there's changes every time. So for Rwanda, there are a lot of challenges for farmers that we are facing every day.
Imbogamizi dukunda guhura nazo wenda ni nk'iz'uburwayi ku bihingwa, ugasanga wenda nk'ibihingwa birarwaye ugasanga birapfuye. Wenda nko mu kuhira izuba riramutse ribuze amazi ari aba makeya. Ubundi Bugesera ko buteye akenshi na kenshi na ahantu hakunda kurangwa n'izuba ryinshi cyane. Niyo mpamvu dukunda kwifashisha amazi yo kuhira imyaka. Kuko turamutse twiringiye imvura ntabwo twapfa ko n'amazi yayo cyane cyane nk'uko imvura ubona ko yabuze kandi turi mu bihe by'imvura. Niyo mpamvu twifashisha amazi yo kuhira.
The inputs have gone high when you look at the price of fertilizer, chemicals, seed.
The small-scale farmer contributes significantly to Rwanda's agriculture industry, making them an integral champion of growth and socio-economic development. While the challenges facing them pose a direct threat to the food systems and security in Rwanda, they have also opened doors to new opportunities for startups in the agro-tech sector, a league of game changers that are fast becoming the nation's answers to farming into the future.
Drawings. People doesn't have much food, and the main problem in this world is food. Now we wanted to solve this problem using technology.
The CEO of STES, 57-year-old Nzitonda Kiego, began his quest for solving the food scarcity problem in Rwanda over a decade ago. His vision? To empower his people to help others.
The vision of STS is to build industries from organized young people. And industry you cannot do yourself. You have to train people. That was my strategy, to train people. In 2015, now we started company. Now, I regroup student who with mind of start industries after finishing, after graduation.
We started as young engineers who were doing engineering as a course. So we thought how we can use our engineering background to make innovative technologies that can support farmers.
After being introduced to the Internet of Things technology in 2017, the STES co-founders kickstarted the foundation of their own patent designs for 2 homegrown, low-cost agro-tech devices.
In 2019, we did our pilot phase in the National Irrigation Scheme with the support from the Ministry of Agriculture in about 200 hectares. So it's where we tested our product, and we had a recommendation from RAB for the performance of our products. That's when we went on approaching other farmers. That's when we reached here in 2020 proposing a products, and through FONERGWA they received the funds. Currently we have 2 products in agriculture. One is called the Baza Farm, which literally means ask the farm, and another one is called Rinda Farm, which literally means protect the farm.
A remote condition monitoring and guidance system, the Baza Farm device assists farmers to deploy precision farming methods.
This Baza Farm device, it is solar powered, as you can see. It has electronic components in this box, which is capable to transmit the data online. And from this box, we have a sensor in this pipe that goes in the soil, in the root zone of the crops. So it is always monitoring the water content. We are gathering data from the farm, and the data are sent to the cloud, to the internet. So from there, farmers are accessing the information on their mobile phones, or if for those with the computer, they can access the information on the computer. So in case there is an urgency required, like a notification for irrigation, they receive a message on their phone and they respond accordingly. The whole technology is called Internet of Things. The way how the devices communicate, how the crops communicates with us through Baza Farm devices. Yeah.
Available in Kinyarwanda as well as English, the information is accessed via a web platform which holds real-time data about the farm.
This is a dashboard of Baza Farm, and the way farmers access it is they log in with their credentials. You log in with mine. After logging in, you see the dashboard showing all the data coming from directly from Kagitumba. You can directly see it on the profile of the owner of the farm. For me, I'm seeing all the sections in the Kagitumba irrigation scheme. The moisture is 21, the temperature is 20 in the soil, and the electric conductivity, you can see the device, and the power is 100%. So because the moisture is below the threshold, that's why it is showing it's bad. Then farmers know they receive a notification that they have to irrigate.
Iyi tekinoloji cyangwa se iyi smart irrigation batuzaniye yatumye tudasesagura amazi, kuko mbere umuhinzi yasabaga amazi kandi adakenewe, bityo bituma n'ikijyanye n'amashanyarazi dutakaza amashanyarazi makeya yagendaga ku mazi twakoreshaga. Ukuvuga ngo muri koperative yacu cyangwa se uyu muryango wacu bakoresha amazi hano Kagitumba, dufite abanyamuryango 546 buhirirwa n'izi center pivot. Ariko by'umwihariko iyi tekinoloji ikorerwa ku buso bungana na hegitari 70, igice cya C n'igice cyo muri A. Umusaruro wariyongereye, wena nanjye nihereyeho ni umuhinzi. Ubu ngubu kuri hegitari imbere navanagaho toni 5, ariko ubu ngubu bigeze muri toni 6 n'igice.
While some farmers have readily accepted the use of technology in improving their yield, others have been apprehensive towards the change.
One main thing is education, because many of the farmers have not yet gone through the education process. So it's not easy like to convince them to use the technologies, but with the support of the government, farmers are starting like to know the technology is helpful. And when installing these technologies, it's better, as we've done, to give training to the farmers, to show them the use and how to use it and its importance to the farmers.
Technology itself, it has power to change the old practices in farming and to help farmers of today becoming the best farmers for the future.
Futuristic yet simple. Another SES device being used by farmers in Rwanda is the Rinda Farm.
Rinda Farm is a solar trap. It has a lamp, ultraviolet lamp that turns on at evening and turns off in the midnight. So it attracts pests and captures it in the basin with a fraud, chemical fraud. So by reducing the pests that enter the farm, it helps farmers reduce how many times they have been spraying pests in their farms. In terms of saving, they have saved much because in the last time they said it has, like they have been spraying like 4 times a season, and now they are spraying less than 2.
Reducing the cost to small-scale farmers and improving production, currently the STS farm devices are being used by over 120 farmers covering 70 hectares of land in Kagitumba, the eastern part of Rwanda.
Duhinga ikibaya cyaringanirijwe guhingamo ibigori ndetse na soya muri sezo zitandukanye. Navukiye hano hafi duhinga, sibye ko uko iterambere rigenda ritwegera niko tugenda turushaho no kwaguka mu buhinzi. Iyi tekinoloji batwegereje iri kudufasha kumenya ifumbire ubutaka bwacu bukeneye, urabona ko harimo n'uburyo bwo kuhira imyaka, banadufasha kubona amazi iyo biri ngombwa yakenewe mu butaka. Ni uburyo bubiri rero, hari uburyo bwo kumenya ayo makuru ubutaka yo amazi ubutaka bukeneye ndetse n'ifumbire, hakaba hari n'ubundi buryo burinda ibihingwa byacu kuba byakwangizwa n'ibyonnyi. Twajyaga tunahura n'ibindi bibazo ugasanga turi gutera imiti iduhenze ibihingwa byacu, ariko hano badukoreye uburyo ibihingwa byacu birindwa ibyonnyi binyuze mu kubirinda nyine bakoresheje application ya Rinda Farm.
Beyond real-time condition monitoring and pest protection, the STS group is now looking at adding another feature to their services to connect all stakeholders of the farm on one platform.
Now, if we have those information, sometimes there is someone who is abroad, he wants to invest here in Rwanda or in Africa, anywhere. He wants to invest, but he don't have time to go to visit every time, because agriculture you have to visit. Those information will support him, or will support him to go in deep and know what he can invest in that business.
In the Farm software, we are including a platform to make the farmers meet their other stakeholders, like insurance companies, banks, and other institutions, so that they approach them within the same software. And this will help them to get a good market for their products, and as well as the input, agro dealers, they will be able to get the inputs at place in the same platform. That's what we are trying to push in Farm.
By connecting the farmer and his land directly to the buyer and the investor, has the potential to greatly catalyze trade and production in agriculture, something the densely populated nation of Rwanda requires to meet their growing demands.
They are saying people will increase 3 times. And today, one family with 80 people cannot support them with its hand only. We need machine. We need the nutrient to put in crops. We need water for today climate change. We need investors, and we need information, because sometimes people are losing opportunity because they don't have information. Now this support is so much for today agriculture.
Agriculture contributes like 30% on the GDP, so it's a big sector that we have to invest in, and one of it is like going for precision agriculture, like applying the agriculture inputs efficiently so that we get the we increase the quantity of production, as well as we are reducing the expenses. That's why we are entering the phase of precision agriculture.
Precision agriculture has not been the norm for the small-scale farmer of Rwanda. But another homegrown company is paving the way in this direction with its web and mobile application, Agrigo, founded by a young Rwandan entrepreneur with first-hand experience in farming.
I come from a farmer's family, And I was responsible of keeping records of what is happening in our farms. So I will have a notebook, right? Okay, today there's maybe 10 manpower, they planted 2 kilograms of rice or maize. I'll keep records so that at the end of the month or the week, my mom will pay according to my data. When I was at university, I remembered the same story. The farmer, the practices they're applying, it's 205 years, 100 ago. So the university produced knowledge which doesn't reach the farmer. So it's that moment, it was actually in 2014, that moment I felt, oh, I remembered exactly my struggle to deal with my mom, to keep a record, but also trying to follow up the outcome of farming. So that's how the idea came.
The idea was to digitally connect agronomists living all over Rwanda with the small-scale farmers.
Usually during farming season, it's a rainy season. And it's a particularly time farmers need agronomists to educate them, to help them, assist them in how to use fertilizer, pesticide, and the other aspects regarding the farming practices. Now, if you're in an area, it is raining, you're an agronomist, you can't move, you can't cross river, and you can't reach to the farmers. Now, with Agrigo, the innovation part is a single agronomist can support 1,000 farmers remotely in respect to the weather changes or other aspects which normally could not make it possible, and in a very personalized way.
I work on platform by doing crop profile, like how crop should be planted, how farmer should be prepare his or her land before planting his crops, how farmers should harvest, how to avoid the pest and diseases on the crops. It is not a long time I work on Agrigo Limited. I have been in Agrigo since 2021. I advised 15 farmers.
40 other agronomists, just like Anne-Marie Clarisse, are currently employed by Agrigo and are routinely helping small-scale farmers manage their farms for a higher yield.
Maze imyaka myinshi mpinga, ariko mu myaka nk'itatu nibwo wavuga natangiye ubuhinzi nyabuhinzi, ubundi nahingaga mu bintu bidasobanutse. Urumva ntabwo mpinga ahantu hanini, mpinga mfite imirima nk'itatu, mpinga ibirayi, mpinga imboga nka karoti, amashu n'ibigori. Bitewe n'ubutaka mfite cyangwa n'imyerere y'iki gihe, ibyo nibyo mbona bimpa umusaruro. Kuva natangirana gukurana n'uwo mushinga Agrigo, namenye uko bafumbira, uko nshobora gutera umuti, uko indwara ije mu myaka nayivura. Ntago tumaranye igihe kinini, ni nk'amezi nk'atanu mbamenye.
While today, farmers are benefiting from personalized and direct inputs from the agronomists, the CEO of Agrigo has spent many years experimenting with different business models to penetrate into low-income target markets and to test and modify his products.
Yeah, when we started Agrigo, operation-wise since 2014, our approach was looking at the cooperative so that we can have good turn-up or easy outreach to the farmers. I think back then we had a cooperative of 250 people to 300 that we started with. 2 years later, we had like 3,000. Then we stayed with 3,000 for a couple of years or 3 years, because that was a sample helped us to understand why 3,000 people are not using the platform. That's where we tested all model you can possibly imagine. The freemium, the subscription, the pay-as-you-go, I mean anything. And also we try to evolve the technology which data are supportive to the farmers.
The mistrust of farmers in digital technology and modern solutions' ability to aid farming has kept Agrigo from making a profit despite being in business for almost a decade.
So for now, we don't really make money, we spend money, because the business model, we have a freemium for farmers. We spend we spend than actually earn, because this is more of a mission and an impact that it has that I'm looking, and I personally know it is a long journey. In terms of how much I spend, I probably, as for now, I spend more than $300,000 in different form of financial instruments. I won, of course, some few awards here and there, grants mainly, and also I do have some investors, angels who put money over time in a different form of investments. Some have equity, other I raised loans. We recently have, of course, some partners who are working with the farmers to try out a business model, looking at financing, which can make us probably like $2 per farmer per month. We start with a small number of farmers, approximately 2,000 farmers, and to see how it evolves.
Currently, Agrigo is working with 90,000 farmers and hopes to add another 10,000 to its consumer base before the end of 2022.
I think it's a sustainable. I believe in a solution. We have in our business model which can sustain the business. It was, a hard way of learning things, but the business model we have now, it can easily sustain the business, and hopefully starting from next year we can become positive cash flow.
Attempting to break into traditional markets with new age solutions, Agrigo's founder seems committed to his long-term vision and core company values.
Because this is more of a mission and an impact that it has. What is importantly now is not how quickly we can make money, but rather how quickly we have so many farmers accessing the knowledge base and the services, and also reaching out to the market, how the market can connect directly to our solution.
Solving the problem of limited access to high-end markets and participation of small-scale farmers, Rwandan company Get It is attempting to bridge the vast gap between the two by removing the middlemen and by strengthening the entire value chain with improved logistical management.
We are working with the smallholder farmers. We're genuinely trying to uplift them. So formal food service distribution into restaurants and hotels, coming with extensive experience in the industry, and Rwanda's strategy around becoming a premium tourist destination. We are focused on food safety and quality of product. So that is what we are focused on, and that is why we supply all the upper-end lodges, hotels, five-star hotels.
Established towards the end of 2014, Get It's business model has evolved with the needs of the market under the leadership of its current CEO, Mark Sproston.
Originally, Lauren's vision was more focused on home deliveries, and then the demand came as the market for food service distribution has increased within Rwanda around tourism. The demand then came for that. My first visit was early 2018. I actually came in as a consultant for an investor, for Lauren, and then continued to help her restructure the business, add on products, expand the range, and get all the required certification in progress. A lot of overhead structures that have to be in place in order to achieve the objectives. If you take certification alone, for us it's taken 2.5 years to get all our certification in place and get all the approvals in place. That in itself is expensive, but we've overcome all those challenges. So we now have everything in place The team is well structured, it's well coordinated. We've done a lot of training on our local staff as well on handling and food safety. And I think from here on out, it's just going to be upwards.
Order them from the farmers. We have a system called TradeGecko. So we have someone who receives the orders in the system. So that person, procurement manager, goes in the system, checks what we have, checks what the orders we have. Then he orders according to the clients we have.
In conjunction with Rwanda FDA, the players like NIAB and government, in conjunction with RDB, we have to make sure that we meet the requirements in terms of food safety. So that has been a core objective.
We sort every item. So the ones which are not good, we reject them. We give them to the supplier, they know. After sorting them, we wash them using chlorine. We use between 100 ppm and 200. After washing them, we bring them in the cold storage. So then in the next day, we pack according to the clients.
By supplying quality-controlled fresh produce directly from the farmer to the high-end markets of Rwanda, Get It's farmers are reaping a high cost for their produce.
It's quality of produce, but at the same time, working with the smallholder farmers, it's education on their side, and it's providing them with information and inputs in order to better increase their yields, and ultimately they get a better price for their product. If they're producing premium grade products, they will get a premium grade price, and that's what we're trying to develop for the local market.
From quality compliance as per Rwanda's domestic market to the international certifications for exports, the 8-year-old company has come a long way.
So we've pretty much complied with everything that Rwanda needs as a country in order to be able to facilitate export and domestic growing. So we export large volumes of chilies to India. We're busy with our first year of garlic to India as well. So the chilies, we would typically aim for 60 to 80 tons of product in our first full production year. Now we've had 3 years of trials. And last year was the first year that we did full container loads of chilies, dried chilies.
The tests and trials have paid off for the food distribution company, and it has signed a multi-million-dollar deal with one of the biggest food development and distribution companies globally.
For the immediate future, we'll be scaling that up in conjunction with Griffith Foods from the US, who have come in as an investor and a partner with us on the agri-processing side. Objectives for the next 2 years on chilies will be ranging up to 200 to 300 tons, which export. And then garlic, we are still busy doing some trials. We've just completed the trials on processing and drying garlic, which worked very well. So for this year, we aim to do 40 tons of garlic. And next year, if we can meet the requirements, we'd like to get it up to about 150 tons.
Scaling up tons of produce for export is not the company's end goal. They are now looking to add value to their supply chain with Rwandan processed goods for the international market.
We intend on doing a lot more value-add products. So the chilies, we won't only be drying them, we'll be blending them and milling them into a spice or a powder that can be used. The same as with the garlic, will be dried and processed into chips and powder for export. Currently, chilies is our largest, which is going into India for further processing. That processing is probably going to be coming in-house within the next year to 2 years, once we fine-tune the drying. So drying processing on-site actually takes place at our farm. We have solar dryers, which we built and invested at the farms. So we dry on-site. Being solar powered and sealed units, we can actually dry right through the rainy period as well.
By advancing the scale, speed and productivity with technology, Get It has fully integrated itself with the small-scale farmers, leading to more jobs and better impact.
Depending on which time, there are between 300 and 500 jobs on the farms. And generally we work with the title holders. We pay them land lease agreements. We also pay them daily wages, and we have facilitated the growing of additional cash crops as well for them. So amongst the export crops, which generally have a 8 to 10 months turnaround time on investment, we do day-to-day cash crops as well.
Rwanda's commercialization of smallholder agriculture is gaining pace because of impact startups and investments. With small-scale farmers earning more and injecting their income directly into the rural economy, the likelihood of achieving sustainable growth and cash flow, both which are key to a company's lifeline, has become more promising for agropreneurs in Rwanda.